Joe, conversation in the early parts of camp is just about how competitive the practices were. Now that you guys are a couple weeks in, where does that stand?
It's the same. So it's about the guys. You can't have competitive practice if they're not willing to be competitive. And so our guys have taken ownership of what our goals are in training camp, and they've done a great job coming in, competing every day.
Is there any way that you can kind of compare now to what you've seen in past years? Like, is it at a different level?
I mean, it's easy to sit here and say it's different than it was before, but at the end of the day, like, we're doing what we set out to do in the training camp, which was create a highly competitive environment and continue to work from that. So that's most important.
Has Neemias earned the opportunity to play with and against starters, and is that in the cards for the next preseason game?
I haven't thought ahead to the next preseason game yet, but he has, he's earned minutes, he's earned opportunity, he's done everything we asked him to do, and he's coming every day in his work, and I really liked how he's gotten better and better each time he's been on the floor. So we're excited that we have an opportunity to develop him, and over these next 2 preseason games, it's definitely a goal to see, can he continue to get better, can he continue to execute on both ends.
So what have you seen from JD? JD Davidson, what have you seen from him?
So last game at the end, he did a great job on situational basketball, getting us a 2-for-1 situation, recognizing it, getting the ball where it needed to go. And his pick and roll reads in the fourth quarter, we ran the same play 4 or 5 times, and he was able to make the read over and over again. And so, being young, coming in, it's just important that he continues to understand how important the point guard position is, how important situational basketball is, and then just work on his professionalism on and off the court.
Jeff Van Gundy on your staff, what does he kind of provide, and what's it like having him around?
Oh, awesome. Anytime you can add like high character, high level professional people, I think it's a no-brainer. And so fortunate enough that he's here, not just for the coaching staff, but for everybody. And he's been through every imaginable situation in the NBA, in coaching, FIBA, NBA, and so we're just lucky to have him. And he's a great listener and a great worker. So he's added a lot of value even in the first couple weeks he's been here.
And how much have you just been picking his brain a little bit?
A lot. I mean, try to run a lot of stuff by him. It's good to get a guy who hasn't been here before that can kind of have an unbiased opinion as to where he thinks things are and where they need to go. And so he's kind of like a fresh set of eyes, because he's not around all the time, and he's looking at it, from an unbiased position, which, kind of gives us an advantage because we can kind of see it in a different perspective.
How did that come about, him joining the staff and joining you guys?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I know Brad had conversations with him. I had a couple of conversations with him during the interview process that kind of about, where he wanted to be and what he wanted to do next, and it just kind of worked itself out. And like I said, anytime you can add high character, high basketball level people, I think you got to do it.
How would you describe his role? Is he going to be on the bench? Just kind of the ins and outs of what he'll be providing?
He won't be on the bench, but when he's here, he'll be in every meeting. He'll be at games when he's here, and just, again, looking at it from like a bird's eye view. So an unbiased perspective, an approach with a lot of experience, and a great listener. Hey JT, you want to work with Sam? Yes. I just asked him. I just asked if that's what he wanted, and it was funny. My first couple years in the league, I had Sam work with Maxey, and we had the same shooting time as our guys, and so I was always able to observe kind of what Sam was doing pregame with Maxey and with some of the other players. And just during the hiring process, kind of talking to Sam, talking to Doc about what Doc relied on Sam for and what he was able to do, it just kind of made the most sense.
So his experience, working with point guard, working with him, I know you guys want him to kind of be a bit of a passer as well. Is all that playing too?
Yeah, I mean, I think just, Sam's been through every situation in the game as well, and he's worked with players on the court and off the court, right? So as much as he's working with Jason, like I said before, we need him to have one-on-one conversations with Jalen, develop Jalen. And Sam worked out with Delano yesterday, and so Sam's just been around a long time, and he's been relied upon by really good coaches to just kind of navigate the roster because of all his experience. And so, yes, he's working with Tatum, but we really need him to navigate the roster, meet each individual guy where he's at, and then help them get to where we need him to go.
Was it like talking to Doc about bringing him in and just kind of, again,
Yeah, it was very simple. It was like, if you don't hire him, someone else will. And so, Doc spoke very highly of him, and it was very it's a no-brainer. So that was it.
So how do you get Jason's obviously ascended throughout his career, top 20, then top 10, then top 5. How do you get him to get that mentality of being like, I'm the best MF on this floor every night? To get to that next, the ultimate step, the MVP level?
I mean, I don't have to. He does that himself. And so it's just working together to find small areas to get better at every single year, every single game, every single day. And it starts with him. So he has the mindset to want to do that. And so then we just collaborate on where we think he's at and what we think we can do to create that environment to give him the best shot to. But I know if you asked him, he'd much rather win a championship than win an MVP. And that's kind of the process that we're taking, is like, what do we have to do to make the people around us better?
I know he's self-motivated, but do you have to motivate him at all?
No. No one in this gym have we had to motivate yet. And I think that's the sign of where we're trying to get to, is Jason, Jalen, Al, Derek, Chris Stapps, like those guys set the standard and everybody else falls in line. And so, you know, there will be moments of having to do some of that, but these guys have done a great job motivating, you know, themselves and then motivating each other, more importantly. And we have to build that connection.
Joe, there's guys like Sam and Steve, when they're out there to shoot the ball next to guys like Tatum and Brown, you know, you tell them, you know, if you have an open shot, shoot it. When Hauser was in with the starters in the last preseason game, these guys closed out so much more. How much do you teach them, you know, find the balance, read the defense versus if you're open to shoot the ball?
The main thing we teach those guys is that you put 2 on the ball. And they have to be able to put 2 on the ball with the catch and with the shot. And so teams are obviously going to guard them by trying to run them off the line, and they have to be able to make that next layer of the read. Is once two's on the ball, is it drive to closeout? Is it an over-the-top pass? Is it a bounce pass? Like, just make the right read. So it's kind of more a layered, like if they take the 3 away, here's how they did it, here's why they did it, and now you got to find the next solution.